And we're back. JSJ, Jake has not done well for a while now. So if you say he's the new Gabe, I don't know. I don't want to go that far. But it is, of course, Gerald Glasser. Thanks again for joining us right here at the Lakers Fast Break. Of course, I also host the Pop Culture Cosmos, which covers the latest news and trends in pop culture each and every week, twice a week, wherever you get your podcasts. On the latest Pop Culture Cosmos, Josh Peterson and I talk about Project Hail Mary, a huge hit at the box office. We also remember Chuck Norris, and also, as well, we talk about the controversy with NVIDIA's DLSS 5. What's wrong with it? Why are people getting so mad about it? How it could affect your PC gaming coming up in the, well, not right now, but in the future going forward. So we talk about that and more right there for you at the Pop Culture Cosmos, wherever you get your podcasts, and on a delayed fashion coming up later this week on YouTube on the Lakers Fast Break as well. Don't forget as well, I also host Lakers Latest every morning for your enjoyment to give you an update of what's going on with the Los Angeles Lakers. So go ahead and check it out each and every morning on the Lakers Latest channel right there, presented by my friends at the Fan Art Network as well. Want to give a shout out, as always, to my good friends, Daniel Berry Sports Highlights. Yo, and also, as well, of course, behind me, you see the great artwork right there with Kobe and Luca, whose shot just came up just short for today's game. Kobe right here with the pillow. And of course, a giveaway we're going to be doing in the month of April right here for you. This bad boy and maybe even more stuff we'll be going ahead and giving away to subscribers of this channel. So go ahead and make sure you're a subscriber. Also, a follower of at Trip Show Shop on Instagram and Twitter, courtesy of my good friend El Rosto, and also as well at Trip Show Shop on Instagram and Twitter. Well, the Lakers came in one of the hottest teams in the NBA. Everybody's been excited to see how the Lakers been playing. 9 wins in a row as they headed to the Motor City to go see and check out what went on Monday night against the Detroit Pistons. But Detroit basketball was the ticket today, as the Detroit basketball Pistons, after down to the Lakers in the first quarter, overtook them in the second quarter with a 42-point second quarter, which put the Lakers down by double digits. Not exactly the way you want to go ahead and pattern yourself, but the Lakers, again, with another good third quarter, came back with a 35-point quarter, outscoring the Detroit Pistons 35-24. But in the fourth quarter, a very sloppy fourth quarter, it came down to crunch time once again. And two of the best teams in crunch time, the Los Angeles Lakers and Detroit Pistons, went back and forth. And the Lakers kept it close, tied the game, actually got ahead by one late, but the Lakers didn't execute as well as you would like to see, missing a couple key shots down the stretch. And a last second try by Luka Doncic fell short because it just wasn't as clean of a look as Luke Kennard got in Orlando, and the Lakers could not repeat the same last second magic this time around, as the Lakers lose 113-110, finally losing on this road trip. I guess can't be too mad, guys. You can't be too upset. They're still 4-1 on this road trip. They won Florida, they won in Houston, and have only one more game in Indiana to go ahead and finish off. And that, on a tanking team, looks pretty strong for the Lakers. They're still 2 games ahead of the Houston Rockets, the Denver Nuggets, and the Minnesota Timberwolves in the standings. And remember, with the tiebreaker, you can add on another game on the top of that. So with 3 games against tanking teams coming up, let's go ahead and keep up that good spirits regarding the Lakers, even after a tough loss like this. Daniss Jenkins, 30 points today, absolutely blew up on the Lakers today. A great signing for them on a two-way, who is now a integral part of their rotation. Has been a great find for them. Jalen Duren, 20 points, 11 rebounds for them as well. For the Lakers, though, it starts with Luka Doncic, 32 points, 7 rebounds, 6 assists. LeBron James with 12 points, 9 rebounds, and 10 assists, just 1 rebound short of a triple-double. DeAndre Ayton, 13 and 10. Austin Reese had 24. Jackson Hayes was 5 of 5 from the field, 11 points himself, 4 block shots himself. So he did give you some good minutes coming off the bench. Luke Kennard was 6. Jared Vanderbilt with a 4, and Adu Thiero got some early couple minutes before he was taken out. So yeah, there you go with the Lakers, though, not just falling just short. So I'm not going to be too upset by what we saw today because again, this has been a great road trip. 4-1 on the road trip with a chance to make it 5-1 heading into Indiana. Is right. Jenkins was a two-way player. I believe he has, in order to be eligible for the playoffs, he has to have signed a regular contract, JSJ, and I believe he has. So yes, he was a two-way player. So that's correct. Vern said we weren't winning every game on this road trip. 4-1. I will take it too, Vern. I am happy, but that the Lakers are 4-1. They took Florida, where they always have problems, and they took Houston. Those were the key games that they needed to take. The Houston games were the ones that they needed to go ahead and win. And I said I would be happy with splitting Florida. And they not only didn't split Florida, they swept Florida. So I am happy with that. And again, yes, I know they didn't have Cade Cunningham in the lineup. And that is a disappointment that you don't win when Cade Cunningham is not in the lineup. But I think that, again, the Lakers deserve a lot of credit for being in the position that they're in. Coming back, they could have just done the Foldle act as far as, when they were down by 15. They could have just said, you know what, we're going to pack it in. We're going to go ahead and just get the win in Indiana and go for it. But they decided to come back. They actually took the lead at one point late in the game and just didn't seal the deal. I mean, that's what, when you're playing these close games and these clutch games, Lakers have a better clutch record than anybody, but again, they still have losses on their record than the resume in the clutch time. But they win much more than they lose in clutch time, and I'll take that every time out. Our Carino says, "I wonder if Joe will get extremely upset." I don't think he will. I don't think he can. I don't think. I mean, they didn't. There's a lot of missed calls. I know you guys saw as far as the way, but Detroit's a physical team, and they seem to let a lot go with them. Teams like them, OKC, and whatnot, because they're very physical in the way they play. And sure, there should have been more calls on Detroit, but again, we can't hold on to that. Got to say, you know what? That if they didn't make those calls, they didn't make those calls, and the Lakers had an opportunity to win this game and just didn't get it done. Luka missed a couple shots late. He did miss that one at the buzzer, but he also missed one about a 13-footer, I think is what he missed as well. And the Lakers could not stop Daniss Jenkins coming down the stretch, and that was the key to the game right there. And plus the sloppy play, the turnovers in the fourth quarter. It was just not something that was going to be akin to a win this time around. But again, these are the mistakes that other teams make on the Lakers. Lakers unfortunately didn't had it done to them this time around. Isaac says either get an open look or drive to the basket. We predicted this. Steinbauer says, okay, we didn't get enough stops. Yeah, we just didn't get enough stops. Daniss Jenkins exploited a weakness of the Lakers, and that is that backcourt. He, as a very quick athletic guard, was able to go ahead and find spots in the defense and exploit them, which hopefully will be something that the Lakers can alleviate going forward. But Vern said I expected a loss tonight. Again, I'm not sad. I'm not sad. I'm not sad at all because again, the odds say that the Lakers, you can't win all your games. The Lakers had come in winning their last 9 games. They've been unreal, and I'm not sad at all because again, if you're going to lose somewhere on the trip, this was probably where you would want to lose on the trip. And again, still 4-1 on this trip with a win, hopefully coming on Wednesday at Indiana against a team that's tanking that just lost Ivica Zubac. So hopefully we can go ahead and finish off that. And plus, we've got 3 games, guys. We've got 3 games against tanking teams that are coming up. So we can actually, before we get to Cleveland and before we get to OKC and those games, we can get some wins back in there and pad our record even more. Vern said we just need to win the next 4 games. The Cleveland game will be tough, but we'll see what happens there. But yes, the 3 games against coming up for the Lakers are going to be, you hope they're going to be easy ones for the Lakers, and we will have to wait and see if that materializes. But it starts off with Indiana on Wednesday. That again should be a win. Brooklyn at home on Friday, and then Washington on Monday. The Fighting Lizards, as what Ban McMahon says about them, because the fact that they were fighting with OKC and they've got a lot of L's on their plate. So the Wizards come up on Monday as well. So yeah, Steinbauer says, yeah, easy schedule looking ahead. Yeah, the next 3 games should pad your record for 3 wins. So hopefully that, yes, let's start a new win streak. You know what? That's the spirit, Isaac. Let's start a new win streak, and let's go ahead and make sure we can get those wins right there for you. What's coming up next? Oh, yeah, I have the confidence we can beat Cleveland, because we do face Cleveland at home on the 31st. It all depends. Yeah, because that's on the back to back at home. Now, the first game in that is Washington. So let's try and get out front early, make it an easy win, and then come back the next night and see if we can play strong against Cleveland as well. Then you go out on Thursday, April the 2nd, and you go out at Oklahoma City and then at Dallas on the 5th of April. So that's going to be interesting. And then you come back on the 7th of April and you face Oklahoma City once again. So that's that's a test right there. If you can get a split against Oklahoma City and then you can win these 3 games, you could maybe hopefully get a win against Cleveland as well. If you can split the OKC games, you can get the wins against the non playoff teams. I think you could just count up third for the Lakers without a problem right there. So yeah, definitely looking forward to seeing what's going to happen. Again, I'm not too sad. I'm not too sad at all, because again, they've been playing at a great level. And it just, when you get down that far, it's just so hard to maintain a lead after that. But here today to go ahead and discuss today's game is a good man indeed. It is, of course, the guy behind I Got Next Sports Media. It is my good friend, Legend himself. Legend, great to have you here. A loss for the Lakers finally on the docket on this road trip, 4-1. I said, I'm not sad. I'm not mad. I mean, they played physical. Detroit brings that every single time that they play, because that the refs have a tendency to go ahead and let some stuff go. It's just that simple. If you saw it, they were letting some stuff go. I'm just going to say this: Daniss Jenkins maybe has exploits a weakness of the Lakers, and that is a quick, athletic guard that can get to spots where the defense can't get to him as well. It's something which I think should be a concern for the Lakers going forward, because quick guards like that, if they can shoot with the mid-range consistency that we saw from Daniss Jenkins today, can provide a little bit of problems for the Lakers. Just a note on that. But again, the Lakers, they took Florida, they took Houston. They've got nothing to be sad about tonight.
Yeah, there's nothing to be sad about. Like, they don't win a lot of games. I would tell anybody, shouldn't be mad. That's a good Detroit Pistons team. If you feel maybe a little hurt to lose to a Kayla team, okay, I guess I understand that. But she'd be like mad or anything? No, they don't win a lot of games. Like, you got to tip your hat to them for what they've done. They don't win a lot of games that might have been scheduled losses with the Lakers before all this happened. So I don't see no reason to be upset. I would still be applauding this team for what they've done so far. You gotta pick your head up, dust your pants off, keep on going. It is what it is, and just head on to the next game. Streets are meant to end at some point, so it is what it is. It ain't the end of the world, not at all.
The Lakers in that fourth quarter, quite a few turnovers. I believe they had 8 or 9 turnovers in that fourth quarter. Really sloppy ball from them, not executing as well as you would like to see. Legend coming down the stretch. I did want to go ahead and say that the Lakers did come in with one of the best records in clutch time. Detroit wasn't too far behind. I think they're 4th or 5th in the league in clutch percentage themselves. So it just came down to who would execute better coming down the stretch, and a couple key misses by Luka, a turnover that really didn't help the Lakers as well, their cause. But it just at this point where Daniss Jenkins executed better. They just instead of going to Duran, they only went to Tobias Harris once, who did take a shot on Luka, and Luka did not bother defending it at all, which I thought was kind of disappointing. Which brings a lot of his. You could just hear a lot of people getting met. Just hear those people that want to go ahead and see Luka fail. Just talk about that one that happened late in the game, but also as well again, Daniss Jenkins, um, Austin Reeves exploited Daniss Jenkins on one end by getting a clutch bucket in the key, but right back on three straight possessions, Daniss Jenkins caused problem for the Lakers. Talk to me about how Daniss Jenkins has been coming from literally nowhere in his first season in the league as a two-way player, now signed to a full contract, but as someone who, as a quick athletic guard who can hit well on the mid-range, what kind of problems he can create for a defense.
He can definitely exploit a lot of defense if he can sit there and take advantage with his speed and ability just to get into the paint, turn around Jays. He can take advantage of that. And that's one of the toughest things about guarding these young teams like him. These boys can run all day. They're gonna attack. And that's one of my, I would say, one concern I would have with the Lakers defense if it can stay that good is when you go against a team like the Spurs or the Oklahoma who likes to run and gun all day with you. That can be a problem. And that's something you just saw from this kid. Kind of gave you an example of what you got to figure out how to handle when it comes to that point. Because the kid showed a lot of heart today. He was balling. He was playing basketball. Took advantages of some guys who just can't play defense all that great. And shout out to that Detroit Pistons team. They look like they deserve to be the number one team in the East. The fact that they won this game without Cade that's impressive. I think most people probably had them losing this game, so got to tip your hat to them boys over there.
And they've won 3 in a row, I think, without Cade before leading up to this game. So credit to them. But Daniss Jenkins, like I said, to me, brings it out of concern. Because like you said, relating to the Spurs. So let's say there is a second round matchup between which will right now be the Lakers and the Spurs. I know we focused in on their inexperience on the Spurs. I know we focused in on Wembanyama, but the inexperience of the guards as far as Castle and Harper, but there is a guy that has playoff experience in De'Aaron Fox who does fit that same type of mold in a better fashion than Daniss Jenkins as far as someone who is quick, someone who is athletic, and someone who can get to his spots. The Lakers have to figure out how best to contain someone like that, and so that he won't go off the same time that Wembanyama does as well in the series.
And I think that's one of the things, if I were the Lakers, I would use these last couple of regular season games to focus on figuring out how to handle these quick, fast guards, because that is what you're going to have to go through if you want to see the NBA Finals. You're going to go through it not once, but twice. The Spurs and the Thunders. That's a lot. That's not going to be easy. I'm not looking at the games right now, but I think both those two teams just literally blowed out their opponents tonight. Just drug Miami and Philadelphia through the mud tonight. So that's what you're dealing with. And you're going to have to figure out something, because it's a reason why people got them two facing all, and they continue to show it.
Absolutely. JSJ, stop it. Stop it, JSJ.
Don't go that far, man. You ain't know.
Come on. Come on, JSJ. I know
he ain't reached that point, man.
He's being facetious. It's okay. It's just JSJ. Don't worry about him. But it is, of course, the Lakers fast break. The Lakers, unfortunately, their win streak stops at 9 with a loss tonight in Detroit, 113-110. Again, the Lakers could have folded up the tent in that second quarter when they got their butts handed to them. I think a 45-point quarter for the Detroit Pistons, getting out to as much as a 15-point lead. But they came back. And when you're on the tail end of that road trip, of any team on the tail end of the road trip, it's harder to get that energy to go ahead and sustain itself for a comeback. But the Lakers in that third quarter, give them all the credit for getting back, making sharp shots, getting Luka Doncic and more involved, getting Jackson Hayes involved on several lobs, which obviously is right there too. When the lobs are going and the fast break is working for the Lakers, that's when it's really moving, and that's when it's really gelling for the Lakers. They were able to do that in that third quarter, get back into the game. eventually get the lead. But again, it came down to clutch time, which you feel very confident in the Lakers. But this time it just wasn't to be as far as in clutch time is concerned. But I don't think you can take too much away from this loss. Again, it had to bound to happen sometime. I just think again, the only thing is they have to try to figure out way to slow down a quick athletic guard like a Jenkins in case you run up against one in the playoffs.
Yeah, you just gotta give them credit. And I see what Rodell said about them fouling every game.
Yeah,
You
they
just
play
get
a physical style.
They play
Absolutely,
physical.
Brodell. We
That's what
talked
they
about it
do.
at the beginning.
That's what they do. They play physical. And honestly, they give me a taste of what the playoff is like. In the playoffs, you're not gonna get a lot of them calls. I think that's one of the things that really does affect, AR game a little bit. When you take them free throws, and you take all the foul calling out, it's a different game. And you just got a little playoff taste of the referee gonna put them whistles in their shirt, say play ball, figure it out. You on your own now, buddy. Ain't no more bailing you out. Figure it out. So you got a little playoff taste of it, and this is how that's how they like to play. Yeah, if you would let them get away with a lot of stuff, it might would be undefeated.
Well, and I know Craig said hit your free throws, and I know late that DeAndre Ayton hit 3 of 4, which is what.
Which is pretty good.
Well, for him, that's his career average is 74. But we talked about it. I was surprised to find out he's only shooting 60% overall from
Oh
the free throw
wow.
line this season.
Mm,
Yeah, that's well below his career average,
yeah,
and
below.
he hit 3 of 4. And overall, the Lakers were 84%, Craig. So that's above their normal team percentage. But I get what you're saying. That I mean, you left 5 points on the table if you hit all your free throws. So I get that. I still want to put the key to the game as far as the sloppiness and the Lakers committing 8 turnovers in that final quarter, especially early in that fourth quarter, several turnovers. That I think is the key right there because the Lakers they did get the lead despite it, but they could have had a larger lead and could have sustained it had they just executed on 3 or 4 of those possessions.
Yeah, they would have just done a couple things, not turn the ball over, and handle some possession a little bit better. Probably held on to the lead. Probably get out this game. Probably with a 1 2 point win. But things happen, and that's part of Detroit. Just play good defense too. They force a lot of those turnovers, and that's what a lot of young guys do too. And a lot of these young teams like Detroit, they like to force turnovers and run the basketball. I mean that is one of the things that are out there when it comes to the Lakers. Force turnovers, run fast break. A lot of times you don't get the easy layup. And so they did a lot of that tonight. But they played good defense towards the end. But it is what it is. Ain't the end of the world.
Lakers did not, right? You're right, Mateja. They did not have Marcus Smart
He was definitely missed.
and Rui Hashimura on the defense. Yeah, playing against Jenkins, although that is a very tough test for even Smart because the quickness right there. But Smart probably would have played better against Jenkins again than some of the other guards that were playing against him because they tried a myriad of guards. Luca, Reeves, Laravia. They even brought Vando out. They dusted him off. They dusted Adu Thiero off to no avail in the overall in the game against Daniss Jenkins because he was hot. This was his game,
Mm-hmm.
and he was just, I guess, not going to be denied because he just really looked good and be able to find his spots and be able to hit his shots when he needed to. The Lakers on the other end, I don't think they exploited him as much on defense because he is a smaller, thinner guard. And I think if the Lakers, with the size advantage that they had, both in inside because they had taller players in Jackson Hayes and DeAndre Ayton, who actually they did pretty good, but I thought they could have exploited even more. But also the taller guards the Lakers had, picking out Jenkins, if they could have done more of that, maybe they would have gotten the couple more baskets that they needed.
Yeah, they did. They definitely could have. They would have done, a couple of things different. Definitely a sport that size. Luka's a big guy. LeBron definitely a big guy. They could definitely take advantage of them size, them mismatches. Could be an easy post up, straight line to the basket or a turnaround J with their size should be no problem. So they definitely could have exploited that a lot more than what they did tonight. But at the same time, on the other end, Detroit kind of did the same too. They exploited some weaknesses that was out there. Some guys who just have a hard time guarding quicker guards. So, end up being like barbecue chicken, as Joe just said.
I know Black LeBron James had the worst plus minus. I don't know if it's a true indicator and how real you can go as it because LeBron, yes, he did not score in the first half. Legend ended up almost with a triple double, 12, 9, and 10. But he was a -8. DeAndre Ayton was a -6. Jake LaRavia was a -5. Austin Reeves was a -5. Adu Thiero was a -4 in only his 2 minutes out there on the court. I don't know how really you can, hold 100% to it. I look at it, but I don't fully invest into a plus minus. I know that LeBron James, when he was out there, gave good effort. He in the second half, he was finding people for assists. He was facilitating a lot more than Luka Doncic or Austin Reeves was with more success. So I don't want to hold this on James at this point in time because LeBron James has played so well on this trip. And again, in the second half, he played okay. And he did have four turnovers. Luka and Austin had 3 each. Again, the sloppy play, I'm going to attribute to all of those guys, all of those ball handlers for not being able to execute during that fourth quarter. Because again, you clean up that ball, you clean up that play a little bit on either end for the Lakers during the early part of that fourth quarter, and this might have been a different game outcome instead.
Definitely would have been a lot different. Outcome would have definitely been a lot different. And I gotta say, LeBron James definitely played Draymond Green style today. When you look at that stat line, it looked a lot identical to what Draymond was putting up with the Warriors doing our championship run, doing our dynasty. So it definitely reminded me a lot of Draymond in this style out there. But he found ways to get himself really going in the game. It did look a little odd seeing him scoreless at half, but he got himself back into the game and got more into it. But I still applaud the guy. He definitely have really figured out a way to work with his team, and it's gonna be interesting this off season. See what he does.
It will be interesting to see how much. Well, again, I think a lot of it depends on how this team performs in the playoffs. Again, for however much you pay Austin Reeves, do you bring LeBron back? All these questions on these players for the Lakers that want to opt out or get a better deal or get a deal in the summer. However this team fares in the playoffs, I think should make it a better determination on what you play these players. It's great during the regular season and it looks great in the regular season, but how does it look in the playoffs? And the Lakers still have a lot of momentum coming off a great road trip so far at 4-1. A lot of things to look forward to. The next 3 games are against tanking teams. You could pad your record back up again leading into Cleveland and OKC. That I think we'll start seeing a little bit better test as it gets close to the end of the season because the teams are either going to be resting their guys or gearing up for a playoff run in the coming weeks ahead.
Yeah, it's getting to that point where a lot of teams are finna start resting up, getting ready for the playoff. It's getting to the point where I think what's Oklahoma finna hit 60 mark soon, 3 more games or so. Spurs be getting close to it too, and Detroit already over 50. A lot of these teams are finna start resting, getting ready for the playoff because it'd be like we only got a few games left. Like, do you really need to play the games? Probably not really, but we'll see what a lot of these teams do. But I do expect Oklahoma and a lot of these teams probably start resting and a lot of these guys gonna probably make sure they hit that 65 threshold first, and then probably gonna start sitting. Don't really care no more.
That's funny because El Rosto says get rid of Cardio Kennard. Yeah, with the stats now with the misses, and he was 1 of 5 from 3 today. He is down to 48.6% from 3 on the season. So he has fallen just a little bit from what he was traded at, right around 50%. But that's still, again, and he got the clutch shot in Orlando. So again, the consistent scoring off the bench, I think it needs to be something the Lakers should focus on during the offseason.
Yes.
I would like to them to, although Jackson Hayes, 11 and 4 blocks. I thought he gave you what he needed to give you when he was out there. But when Jared Vanderbilt, he just doesn't give you, he just not can give you what he needs to give you as an offensive machine. I mean, I noted it that in the first half he drove from the sideline, from the baseline, and he drove to the basket, and and putting up a layup, actually missed the entire rim in doing so. That reminded me shades of Cam Reddish when he was with the Lakers. So uh, it's just hard for he's just not an offensively adept player. I can get it. I understand it. But Duthero came in and immediately rookie. I'll say the best on that rookie on both sides of the ball. He passed up an open guy in the 3-point area to try and take the ball himself, and immediately got it blocked, and then came back and committed a foul himself. It again, it's just that the Lakers just don't have many options on the bench
That's my other
for games
concern.
like these. As you're coming down to the end of the stretch here, they're heavily reliant on their starters. And
Yeah,
while it will work in the playoffs, my friend, because you reduce your rotations for to 6 or 7 players, 8 players in the playoffs, it still would be nice to know that there's someone that can produce and make their own offense off the bench. It's just like in legend, like you have in Atlanta, CJ McCollum. Now he's a terrible defender, older player, but the
yeah.
guy can still fill it up for and you can get buckets from him. What kind of advantage for that is nice to know as a convenience that you've got a guy off the bench that can get you 20 in a game.
Yeah, you're right about that. It's good to have that, and at least in the playoff, it does shrinks. The bench shrinks down, but that comes back to something that I said early on in the season too. The last several champions, they all won because they had depth. Everybody had depth. Oklahoma, Denver, so on and so forth. Everybody done had depth that have won titles this year, and I feel like that's something you gotta have. Like you cannot rely heavily on your starters. Like that's just it ain't gonna work against these other teams that got depth. Yeah, run your starters in the ground, and by what game 3 or 4, they're tired. They got nothing left. While I got a bunch of fresh, 5 more guys on my bench that are fresh. Can't do that. You got to have some type of depth. These last several teams have had depth. That's one of the reasons why I have to really think Indiana reached that finals last year. They had depth. They had a bunch of guys they can trust. They can go 10 deep, no problem. You can't do that with the Lakers, not really. You probably got 7, 8 guys you can really trust. Everybody else is, I don't know what you're gonna get. I have no idea what you're gonna get. It's very, very Luca reliant right now. Shouldn't have to be that way, but you just got no choice. And it's what it is. It is
It
what it
is
is, but
it
it
is what
could
it
come
is.
back to bite you at some point.
I in the playoffs again, if they go a shorter rotation, which they will, it won't, but it might not. But again, they still have to have some type of bench production because we saw in the Minnesota series when uh, JJ did not trust his bench at all to the point where he just played 5 starters a full entire second half. They ran out of gas and they ended up losing a game that they were ahead in. I can understand that, and it just has to be something that again that they need some type of production off the bench. Kennard, if you get him involved, is not going to shoot too many times 1 of 5 from 3. So I would count to see his overall stats and to see how he can shoot. If you keep him involved, he can get you some productivity like he did in Orlando with 13 points and plus the winning 3. Gregory, just to let you know, Cam Thomas, who was waived today
Yeah.
by Milwaukee. It's so funny because Doc Rivers, after the first couple of games, compared him to Lou Williams and Jamal Crawford because he had a couple 20 points games with them. And then now he's gone to the point where he's
Yeah, he
waived.
said it off the internet. He said that. No.
Yeah. So, and then John Horst, the GM, was trying to sell to Giannis that Thomas was a key part of the team's contention ability this season and the future. Yeah, well, that future was waived today. I would have liked him on the Lakers because he can manufacture offense, but that's something obviously the Lakers weren't interested in. They decided to sign Kobe Buffkin instead. They have no more spots. They can't sign anyone. Most they could do if they had an injury waiver or claim they could do a 10-day, but yeah, that outside of that they just can't do anything at this point. So they would have to waive a player, and they're so close to the tax anyways that it probably wouldn't matter at this point. But even if Thomas was signed by a team, he is not eligible for the playoffs at this point. So yeah,
That
it
was
is
kind of
what it
odd
is.
that they signed him just to let him go within that quick.
I bet you it was something that he said. I bet you it was something that he's had some issues because his playing time has been inconsistent with the team.
Mm.
And that's how it's going to happen. But Gerald, love your channel, but you have one sensitive moderator putting me on whole day timeouts for saying Luka taking too many shots. How does channel? I appreciate the super chat. Again, I know that our mods are trying to do what they can to support it, but mods, Mark, everyone out there, please, if they disagree with what you say, if Nick T, I disagree with what he says a lot of the time, but I have to respect what he says. He doesn't say anything derogatory about it. He just doesn't care for Luka as much as you guys do. And again, we have to grow the channel, so we have to be respectful of each other in that. And again, if those are Nick T's observations, we call him out on it. And again, but we do it in a fashion where we're not going to and thank you again for the super chat, Nick T. I truly apologize that Mark has done that to you. Hopefully, Mark, we can go ahead and try and work with each other instead of try and detract our audience when they don't say something. Because again, if he doesn't like Luka as much as you do or as much as I do, that's his choice. That's his prerogative. But we don't want to kick him out because of it. We don't want to kick anyone out of it. We want to embrace different opinions on the show, and that's what makes the show what it is. So hopefully we can go ahead and do it. And I understand, I get it, Xbox, but if he wants to go ahead and have differing opinions on Luka Doncic, let him. That's his choice and that's his right. Now, whether you say it's trolling or not is something that we can handle. But if it's not disrespectful, if it's not demeaning in any way to anyone personally, then I think we should just go ahead and try and have a civil discourse with each other. At what point we should always try to have a civil discourse, indeed. So please, if we can try to refrain our regular viewers from getting timed out, it would be greatly appreciated because we're trying to grow the channel as best we can, if we can. But if it does become abusive, I see it and I will know about it, or you can let me know about it, and then we call from there. If you're just mad at him, guys, if you're just mad at a person or an individual because they just don't like Luka as much as you guys like Luka, just let it go. Just turn the other cheek and move on. Just when he scores 60, or when he gets a 50-point triple-double, or when he keys a Lakers 9-win streak, you give it right back to him. That's the best way to do it instead. You don't time people out because it's just we're trying to make an experience here, and we're trying to grow the audience. And again, I understand Nick T's point of view and I understand Mark's point of view because it can get frustrating, but we got to allow for differing opinions from here, even if it's not something you want to hear, as long as they're not using foul language, as long as they're not using abusive language. Please, let's just try to work with each other on that a little bit more. That's all I ask. All I ask, indeed. But once again, gotta love being online. It is, of course, the Lakers Fast Break. It is Legend from I Got Next Sports Media. Legend, when you get this, hopefully you will have 200 different comments in the course of a show, whatnot, that you will have to go ahead and monitor like that as well. I'm hoping that comes to you sooner rather than later, my friend.
Yeah, I'm gonna try to be ready. Try my best. I know it ain't an easy job.
It's not. And the mods, I want to give a big shout out to the mods because again, the mods, they don't have to do this. They don't have to do what they do to moderate the chat as best they can. And they normally do a sensational job. And I'm going to give credit to each and every one of them, from Xbox, JSJ, to everybody that does the job as far as modding is concerned. Search, just the whole group that's out there. So I'm going to give you guys a ton of credit and give you guys a ton of kudos for doing so. So I know it's a tough job. I know it's tough. And again, there's no pay behind it. It's just what you guys want to moderate the chat. And I'm very happy that you guys are doing so. So let's try to work with each other, even if we disagree with each other, because Joe and I disagree with each other all the time. And we would love to go ahead and time each other out. But I'm hopeful that we can go ahead and just move on. Because El Rosto with a super chat, because less respect, Xbox for usually almost always getting it right. Yes. And that's a good sign, Xbox. There you go. You usually almost always get it right. Yes, thank you for the super chat. There you go. Stuff like that's again. Just want to work with each other, guys. Let's just try to get along. Yes, on the Xbox, you gotta get a roasto back for that. You usually almost always get. It's like that's like you turn around, Legend. If you told me that, I'd be like turning around and say, "Thank you, I guess, maybe." So it is, of course, the Lakers fast break, 113 to 110. The Lakers lose, but again, 46 and 26. Legend in the Western Conference. Again, the Lakers have a 2-game lead over the 3 teams they have and a tiebreaker with in the Western Conference. That's Houston, Minnesota, and Denver. With 10 games to play, it looks pretty good for the Lakers right now. Actually, 10 games to play. It looks really good with a 3-game advantage, essentially, because you got the tiebreaker involved, especially with the fact you've got 3 games coming up against tanking teams. I understand you cannot get overconfident, but if the Lakers could put away these 3 wins, then they can start thinking about doing something they couldn't do this time last year, Legend, when you were on with this. This time last season, they were fighting for every game they could get.
Yeah, during this time last year, he was in war, man. He was in war with these other teams, trying to figure out where you're gonna land and all that. But luckily, you got 3 easy games coming up. This is a good opportunity to start padding up that stat sheet and start getting some easy wins and start closing the door. Like, yeah, you're not getting the 3rd seed. Good luck. Y'all fight for the 4th seed. Y'all fight for that date with the Thunders. We gonna close the door and fight for the date with the Spurs. So yeah, it right now looking like they got a chance to close this thing out. I know Houston been losing most of the game, but I'm not sure what their score look like right now. But
Right now, it is Chicago leading by 2 with 3 minutes left. So maybe this is where the point where the Chicago coach puts out his top players and lets Houston win the game.
Yeah, he
It's
might
a
really do that.
possibility.
Yeah, they might go on and they're gonna throw the game at this point because
You might. They might. Josh Giddey's played 35 minutes. You might come to him and say, Josh, it's you look tired, man.
You need the loss, man. Come on up, come on over here.
Yeah, there you go. But you talked about OKC and San Antonio, who are right now the class of the NBA at this point. You're right. San Antonio goes on the road and they just walloped Miami. OKC goes on the road and they wallop Philadelphia. Those 2 teams are really looking like they're on a collision course against each other. Your Atlanta Hawks got back on track by the way. They destroyed Memphis. But those 2 teams look like they're on the collision. But if there's any one team that could upset this apple cart using a very old adage, could it be the Los Angeles Lakers? Because again, we've seen the best of Los Angeles Lakers in these past 9 games on this winning streak. We've seen how if you get all the big 3 rolling and working together, if they can get DeAndre Ayton to buy in, if they can get even some production from the bench, it makes for a formidable team that can really, if they play like that during that 9-game winning streak, can cause some teams some problems, and that includes OKC and San Antonio. But is that enough? Because it looks like right now OKC and San Antonio are looking like they're on cruise control right now.
It can definitely cause a tough series for both these 2 teams, especially San Antonio, with them not having a lot of experience, not being used to handling that type of situation in a playoff setting. With Oklahoma, they probably ready for whatever you throw at them. They don't seen it all at this point, but it's gonna definitely give them 2 teams a tough game. It's not gonna be nothing easy. They could easily both come out here and pull an upset, but like I said, right now, both the 2 teams look like they're in just 2 different worlds right now. They look like they are, no doubt, the 2 best teams in the league right now. They just look like they're both on a collision course to meet each other. And I got to give Spurs one thing I can really give the Spurs credit on. They don't have Oklahoma's number this year, though. They don't have their number a lot this season. Even though that is regular season, I don't really hold that much thought to regular season, but they have had their number. So that is something to think about on that part. But both these two teams have really showed they are this in their own class right now. They out here kicking everybody butt that they play. And they doing it in fashion. They went out here and blow both these two teams out like it ain't nothing. That winning streak is continuing to advance and looking like it's not going to stop no time soon. So they can definitely pull an upset. Anything is possible. If I had to pick which one, I think the Lakers can pull that upset on. I would probably look at the Spurs more because of the inexperience. Oklahoma, I think you just got to beat them. It ain't gonna be too many weaknesses. Then you just got to beat them. It's all gonna be to it. But the Spurs have that inexperience as well as you got an inexperienced coach too. But I think they kind of balance each other out. Both the Lakers and San Antonio coaches are both inexperienced with a lot of the playoffs, so I think they kind of cancel out on that one. But Lakers can make some noise. They should definitely make some noise, especially Luka's out here cooking like the way he was doing before. Like those some video game numbers he was putting up. That's NBA 2K numbers.
But Nick, you never say you're quiet though when Luka hits 9 threes and goes off on a tear like he did for three straight games, and you're quiet. But then, of course, there are the times where it's 3 of 13. Yeah, could he have done better as far as maybe when he's not feeling it from three? But again, that's the confidence he has in his shot. I've talked to you about this before. Would it be better if he makes better choices on his, instead of shooting those threes on when he's not feeling it? Yeah, it would be great. But again, as a player and a scorer of his fidelity, of his high level, he feels he can make every shot. And it's hard to tell an individual that has carried the Lakers on so many occasions, which you even have to admit he has, that it just is that simple, where you are allowing him to do that because he has the confidence and belief that he can hit those shots. Would it be better that maybe he allocates some of those misses to other players? Sure, that would be nice. But he has great confidence in his shot. And as Legend will tell you, because he's a shooter, you think you're going to make that next one. And I know you guys, JY, and I know that Nick, as far as you guys, you said ball watching tonight on the defensive end, I will give you down. Tobias Harris hit an easy shot, and Luka didn't go up with him on it. I get that. I understand that. I know Austin Reeves against Daniss Jenkins, both ends. It's a mismatch both ways. Austin on Daniss, and Daniss on Austin. It's a mismatch both ways. We saw that, but again, when it comes to Luka and JY, I will get to your question here on the out of bounds play. Again, he's a shooter. He's a high level scorer. Shea, of course, also as well. Luka, these guys are averaging 25 to 30 points a game. Legend. They have the belief that they will make continuously the next shot. It can be frustrating, Nick. I understand who didn't want Luka here in the first place. I get it. I understand it's frustrating for you to watch. But again, for games like this, we're getting games like we've seen where he's been unreal, that he's been at an MVP-like level, which quiets your criticisms of him. I will take this if I get the 60-point games, the 50-point triple doubles, the 30s, the 40s, the games that he keeps us in, or he helps us win just by his aggressiveness alone.
Yeah, you know, as a shooter, because like I said, I was a shooter when I played basketball in high school and in college. That's why the jerseys back in the picture frame from high school days. But I kept shooting. Whether I'm missing or not, one thing my coach always said, if you miss 3 in a row, you better keep down shooting or you're going to be right on the bench with me. Keep shooting. Because it's going to eventually come back. It's muscle memory. It's going to come back. The same stroke, pause, I know somebody thinks so differently. The same motion, it doesn't change. It's the same thing over and over. But, shot don't always go in. That's why people always say when it comes to playing in a lot of these basketball games, let alone trying to win a championship, defense will always be more consistent than offense. Jump shot, not going to always be there. But defense will always be there as long as you give an effort. That will always be there. Nothing changes about it. A jump shot, you can do the same thing that you always normally do. You can miss shots. It happens. But you just got to keep shooting. You just got to keep shooting and hope that the shot will eventually come back. Now it do get to the point if you just bricking left and right and you like 3 for 20 or something, just stop. It ain't tonight. Just stop. Figure something else out. But you know it's normal for shooters to do that, to try to shoot their way out of a slump.
And Luka, it's not like he wasn't doing anything else. He's scoring 33 points in the game, Legend. So he's giving you the chance with his scoring ability, keeping them in the game, which in a game where only Austin was the only other real player connecting and making his offense from the floor was crucial because Kennard was cold tonight. LeBron, okay, he got some points in the second half, but he was cold in that first half. Again, those two were creating the offense for the Lakers tonight. And you got to ride by them because they've been more times than not on this road trip, the guys to go to on this road trip. And with a dash of LeBron here and there, it's been effective. It's been working. It's working 9 times in a row. So again, I'm not going to argue with that. Again, you could talk about little changes like you guys mentioned, maybe having Vando in there for defense at points time, although he's not a great one-on-one defender anymore, but maybe he could have done, I think anybody could have done that defender that you had could have done better than Austin Reeves on Daniss Jenkins tonight because he's just that quick.
Yeah.
But Lakers just don't have an answer with Marcus Smart out there. It's just that clear. Vando couldn't guard Daniss. Adu Thiero was thrown out there. He couldn't guard. But again, I'm not going to get beat up JJ over this because JJ was able to draw up plays. He was able to get Greg St. Jean involved to draw up the play. Who JY mentioned. Where's the assistant that drew up the play in Orlando, G Legend? Marcus Smart didn't pass that ball in this time. No, but you know, LeBron, it didn't turn over, but it almost was a turnover when that went to Luka, but he didn't turn over. Gave me, you know, it's like, okay, LeBron at it again. But I will just say this again, I'm not going to beat up any of the Lakers tonight because again, the Lakers 9 out of 10. If you told me, Gerald, the Lakers are going to win 9 out of the next 10 games, I will take that every time out, Legend.
Yeah, you'll take that every single time. And win is a win. I say things happen. Things happen, and you just gotta keep pushing. It is what it is. And I know I see a lot of people keep saying why he didn't bring in Vando. Like Gerald said, I'm not getting no offense. It's hard to do that. And that's where you need Marcus Smart, because at least I can still get some offense.
If it's an out of bounds play, Legend, I get that. But the one where it was an offense transition from offense to defense, and he was able to get the foul or he was able to score the basketball. But if it's a out of bounds play, I can understand that you do need to get a better defender on Daniss Jenkins because that's where they were going tonight. It was clear Daniss Jenkins was the player that they wanted to go to because Jalen Duren, he doesn't create offense. He's a recipient of their offense. Tobias Harris, it's nice to go to every now and then, but in the clutch time, they went to Daniss Jenkins. It was clear, and the Lakers had no answer for him tonight.
Yeah, they just had no way of stopping him, man. He just blowing by, getting easy middies, getting easy layups. Just had no answer to stop that kid tonight. And it just happened. It's just one of the kind of been the tale for the whole season too. They have a hard time guarding athletic, quick guards, guys who like to run up and down the court. They have a hard time guarding that. And, they just had a tough time tonight. And, that's something that if I'm them, take the loss as that's something you got to work on because you know what's in front of you. You have the Spurs in Oklahoma who that's their playing style too. You're going to have to figure out how to guard that. Otherwise, it's going to be a long, long series. I think it's going to be a long series. I think it's going to be a 6 or 7 game series. But it could be quicker than that if you don't figure something out too, though. Especially if your bench is non-existence. Hopefully Jalen Raven kind of figured it out too. I know he's been going through a slump.
For quite a while, and it's again. I know Rodell said it goes without saying, and that this was one of the best games he's had in a while, and it was 7 points. So that tells you all you need to know.
Yeah, so you know right there.
Yeah, so it's disappointing, but I wanted to get to a couple super chats. Truly appreciate you joining us. And once again, the Lakers lose 113-110. Lakers are 46-26, still third place in the Western Conference. Juan Velasquez, truly appreciate Juan whenever you stop on by. He said JJ needs to sub in Vando between timeouts for Reeves. He gets burned way too much. He can always sub him back for offense that is frustrating. Yes, and I get that. I understand it because again, these are the questions that you have when you are talking about giving Reeves a max contract. These are the things, the very things that we talk about. And Juan, I give you credit. You're hitting it right on the head there.
Mm.
He is not a trusted defender. Neither
But
is Luka.
Rockets
But
know is.
Luka can make up for it for sure by averaging 30 to 35 points a game. Austin Reeves, if he, in order to justify Austin out there, he needs to score at a high level himself. So as long as he's scoring 24, 26, I can understand why JJ kept him out there. But situationally, it's not going to bruise the guy's ego if you bring in another defender, Legend. You have to win these games. So if it's a timeout with a ball inbound and a defensive play, you could have brought in a better or maybe a more adequate defender to go against Daniss Jenkins if you believe that's where the ball was going to.
JJ definitely could have done that. Brought in a little bit of a better defender just to help stay in front of him. Somebody who can just, make him work a little bit harder, keep up with him, at least some decently keep up with him. That's just something. And I think that's just one of the things where you got to miss Marcus Smart not being there was. He's been one hell of a good defender the last several games. And he's brought in energy that has been needed all the time. Like I just told one Laker fan who worked at my job, because the girl who worked at my job now, she's a Laker fan. And I always told her, like, Marcus Smart, he don't show up in the stat sheet that much. But, man, I tell you, his impact in the game is there. You feel
And if
it.
you are a big believer in the plus minus, Legend, he is the leader in the entire season for the Lakers by far in plus minus. Again, if you put everything on it, did you say, though, with her that she's a Lakers fan?
She said she's been a Laker fan since maybe 2006.
Okay.
She's
I was
younger
just
than
going
me.
to say, the reason why I was saying is I don't know if you saw my post on the channel that I posted a link for a viral video that went out after Luke Kennard's victory. If you guys get a chance to see it, I put the link in the posts out there. It is, I don't know if Legend you saw it, but you know how they have after a winning shot like Luke Kennard's, they'll give you, on social media 15,000 different views from people like all over the stands and whatnot. Well, there's one shot in the stands, about 12 rows back, on the other side of the court to the left, as Luke Kennard is hitting it, and then he's taking the video, and there's a guy about 3-4 rows ahead of him in a Goga Batazzi Orlando black jersey. So Luke Kennard hits the shot. He starts jumping up and down, screaming and wildly, and you're wondering why he does that. And after the second jump, I believe, he immediately takes off his Goga Batazzi jersey to reveal a Lakers LeBron jersey underneath.
That is interesting. I guess he wanted to stay in. He would be in the Orlando Magic territory over there.
Well, I mean, there were Lakers fans in the crowd cheering, whatnot, and of course the Orlando Magic fans were there like in sudden shock, because they lost the game. But then there's this one guy in the Goga Batazzi jersey, and it is hilarious because he's and he's immediately taking off his jacket while he's taking off his jersey while he's jumping in the air, and immediately had on one underneath. It's like, somebody's been jumping the bandwagon there. So I'll just leave it at that.
I guess he was waiting to see. Let me see they win this game before I do it.
It's funny indeed. Again, the Lakers lose 113 to 110. Stefan Piscano says Gerald is the Magic Johnson of Lakers YouTube coverage. Thank you. Very kind of you to say. Truly appreciate it. I have the 88 world champion back-to-back shirt I've got hung up on the front side of my office here. I don't know if it's that word. I might be worth something. So I
Well, Houston lost now.
Houston did lose. Oh wow.
Yep.
Okay.
I would say we had to win today.
Do you think Chicago's happy about that or not? So
probably not, but
yeah. Again, I just appreciate the fact that the Lakers have won 9 out of 10. They've been really playing at a high level. And again, it's just something that I'm glad to see. The Lakers are continuing to put themselves in a position to get wins. And again, as the best record in the clutch, it's something that you put yourself in that situation where you just got to execute. And more times than not, the Lakers have executed well. But those turnovers, especially in that early in that fourth quarter, they come back to haunt you when you play sloppy ball. And yes, the Lakers did actually gain a lead of 1 point, but you got to remember, as I talked about earlier, Legend, before we head on out, and before you go ahead and let everybody know what you're doing at I Got Next Sports Media, those kind of mistakes, that kind of sloppiness comes back to bite you in the end.
Yeah, things, it happens, and it, like I say, it is what it is. You make the game flow the way it flowed, and they're gonna pick themselves up. You got the next 3 easy games, and well, should be easy game. You know how the NBA works. Sometimes these bad teams somehow hang in there for some reason, but it should be 3 easy wins. Finish the season strong. Hold on to the 3rd seed and see how this 4 through 6 battle end up playing out. Might end up getting Houston because, man, they got problems. They really missing Steven Adams and Fred right now.
It's clear that they do. It's come back to, you could see them. They thought they could get away with it for a while, and they were playing pretty good basketball for a while. But yeah, it right now it looks like it has caught up to him. El Rosa said it's going to be just like the last time. He's going to get some offers, but few teams that have the cap act. Well, again, El Rosto, some of these teams can, just because they don't have the cap at the time they offer him doesn't mean that if Austin Reeves is interested, let's say Legend is a free agent, and let's say I have 30 million in cap space, but I want to sign him to a $45 million deal. I can move assets based on Legend saying, you know what, I want to come play with you, Gerald. Correct? If they know something's going to go down, they will make the moves to free up cap space. So again, whatever cap space that they actually have, the Lakers or any other team going into the summer, it's not entirely it's not the entire story, Legend, because again, if you make under the deal agreements, or if you get verbal agreements from the player that they want to come and play for you for this amount, and you could make moves to do that and free up that cap space, or sign and trade with the other team as well, the team he's leaving.
Yeah, you can do that. You can match it or anything like that. You have a chance to bring him back with the best offer. You're gonna be the only one that can offer him $5 million with a $4 million plus player option. The others ain't gonna be able to do that. It's gonna be pretty much straight $4 million flat. So it's the Lakers gonna have to really decide about how you want to go after Reeves. Reeves say he want to be a Laker. That's what he want to be. But I think the Lakers got to realize he's not just gonna take anything either. I think Reeves at this point no, and I highly doubt his agent gonna let him sit there and be like, "You're not gonna cheat yourself, son. You don't earn your money this year. Go make your money." And teams like, I don't know, Utah, maybe Houston or whatever, they're gonna be more than happy to write that check if they want to. So you gonna have
and
to
if there's
probably
a bidding war, if there's a bidding
Yeah.
war, Legend, that could be a problem as well, because again, 4 years for 180 from another team, 5 years, 240, is it 241? I think it's
That's
5
too
years,
much Reeves to me right there.
yeah, it's again, it's a situation where he can earn himself a lot of money, and if the bidding goes into a certain direction, you also have to weigh in. Let's say a Florida team, Legend, or a Texas team comes calling, you
Ooh,
know,
man,
and
tax
they
free
get
too.
tax free. You have to consider these things. Yes, he wants to be a Laker. He wants to pal around with Luca, et cetera, et cetera. But I got a great comment. I want to give a shout out to Aaliyah, who watched, who actually read my post from a couple weeks back just recently, and he talked about that he loves Austin. He's a big Lakers fan, but a 5-year max contract for a 28-year-old with no accomplishments is crazy. 3 years, 100 million is fair. It might be fair to us, and it might be fair to you too. But again, it's whatever the market demands. And being that he's the marquee free agent, he may not. It's just like Zachary Richichet. Zachary Richichet in a lesser draft was the number one draft choice. So more teams were interested in him in that year, maybe more than they should.
Not
The
anymore.
Lakers, Austin Reeves is the marquee free agent in a weak year for free agency. It's just that simple. So he may get more demand based off just that fact, Legend.
He definitely might get more no more demand based off of his play this year. And I definitely think the playoff will really determine exactly how things going to go because he's always shown up in regular season. It's always been the playoff where it just falls apart and not getting them calls anymore, and it starts to show. You rely very heavily on them calls, but regardless, though, I think some teams are going to pay up even whatever he do in the playoff. I think some teams are going to be still willing to pay big money. And I guess for the Lakers, what you really got to worry about is, Lord forbid, somebody pay this guy a crazy amount of money, and now you're gonna have to make a decision: do you match it, or do you let him walk? You don't want to let him walk. That's a disaster. You probably gonna have to do what you don't want to do and have to match it, pay more than what you really want to. And I know a lot of people probably ain't gonna like that part, but you can't let him walk for nothing. That's a disaster if you let that happen.
Because I agree with Juan. It would have been great if you got a better defender on Daniss Jenkins.
Yeah.
Absolutely. But you saw the best and the worst of Austin Reeves in that final minute, Legend, because you saw him back down Daniss Jenkins and and make that shot, the last bucket I think the Lakers got. And then on the other end, you saw him give up 2, if not 3 straight possessions against Daniss Jenkins, where he gave up points or a foul was committed on Daniss Jenkins. So that took him to the free throw line. And that kid just calmly made his free throws. Calmly made his got to give him credit. He went up there, made his free throws like they were nothing. And they shot over 90% as a free throw. I mean, the Lakers above 80%, 84% for the free throw line. Yes, Craig, you're right. They should have made more free throws. Would have been great, but that's above their team average. Detroit shot over 90% from the free throw line, and they didn't get as many opportunities. So again, they did the most what they were given, and again, you got to give them credit to they won. They won without their best player. The Lakers, again, give them credit for coming back into this game. Third quarter, they were amazing getting back into this game. They got the lead late in the game. I thought they were going to pull a rabbit out of the hat once again in the clutch, but it wasn't meant to be as the Lakers lose 113 and 110. But again, I'm not mad. I'm not sad. I'm not doing a rant. I'm not doing anything like that because, again, the Lakers have won 9 out of the last 10 games. I will take that. Yeah, I will take that. Go ahead, my friend.
I was gonna say that's not easy to do. Like even in the NBA, even when you got people like Luka and LeBron them playing at their highest level, to win 9 games against guys who are almost as good as you or just good as your bench players and all, that's not easy to do. A 9-game win streak is not easy. So salute to Detroit. That's a hell of an impressive win for them. They the number 1 team in the East, folks. They ain't trash. I see a lot of people in X kind of losing their mind about it. I'm like, bro, they're not trash. They didn't have their best player, but they're not trash. This was the number 1 team for a reason, and they showed it tonight that they deserve that number 1 spot. And you just got to tip your hat off to them. They won it. They came and got it. They took it, and they went on with their business. So you got to give them credit for that.
They play physical. They play with athleticism. They play with quickness. And when they can get their shots up and they can hit those shots, they're a very, very formidable team. But they do need Cade Cunningham if they want to make any kind of run the playoffs. If Cade Cunningham that long is in trouble, which if you have a collapsed lung, first getting it back healthy and then getting back to the point where your conditioning is back up to speed. Your cardio, as we love to joke about, is back up to speed here. That's a key for them going forward. So I don't know. I don't know what we'll see from Detroit because, again, Cade Cunningham, how soon will he come back and at what level will he come back as?
We definitely see what level he comes back as, and probably gonna come out as a good level and all, but he's gonna come out pretty good. He can come out balling.
Before we head on out and before I get to you for what's coming up at I Got Next Sports Media, 805, big shout out to you for going to MSG tonight.
Man. Nice. That's dope. That is dope.
That is dope indeed. I'm going to say this, that would be a bucket list thing for me. Going to MSG. I understand it's old. I understand it has its age, but it has its charm. I would love to go ahead and get that opportunity to go see.
I don't know how many players I'm putting in that court, boy.
Yeah, and or to go up that elevator that they have for the players. I've seen the iconic shots of the film of the Lakers back in the day, back in the Kobe era. They go up that iconic like freight elevator that gets them up to the court level as you go on. Yeah, that just to experience all that at MSG, I would be just envious to do. So yeah, absolutely. 805. Big shout out to you, my friend. But before we head
Yeah,
on out and before I go ahead and I give you guys an update on what I'm doing, let's hear what Legend is doing because I appreciate all of his time. It's still 11, almost 11 o'clock where he's at. Legend, what's going on, my friend? As I always appreciate you stopping by. It's kind of nice and quiet and peaceful tonight. I wonder why. I wonder who wasn't on this show tonight to go ahead and, huh? Wonder who. I don't know. I feel like I'm missing a couple guys. I don't know who. But all right. Anyways, Legend, what's going on with I Got Next Sports Media?
I'm definitely gonna talk about the Lakers tomorrow, and I'm gonna talk about the MVP battle that's going on right now. Probably the most interesting MVP battle we don't seen in a good little while. And then I'm probably gonna talk about how South Carolina girls are just looking dominant once again. This winning gave USC a pretty bad loss,
Yeah,
but
absolutely.
it was pretty bad. But other than that, we're gonna talk about the NCAA tournament a little bit tomorrow as well to wrap up the show.
No juju, no juice for
Yeah,
the SC
you can
Trojans.
tell she wasn't there.
Well, it's women's college basketball is just. I know there was an upset today with a 9-2, which is rare, but usually it's like there's gaps. There's gaps between like the top 5 or 6 teams or 10 teams, and then everybody else. You can see when there's like a number 1 seed playing a number 8 seed, which in men's basketball quite often is close or closer. But in women's college basketball, there was Connecticut won by like 90 today
Yeah.
or 80, just like absolutely.
Ooh, they won that much.
I lost count at 70. You'll forget it was at 70 at one point. So
I gotta look this up now.
Yeah. So it
Oh,
just
man.
they kill those in women's college basketball. There are definite tiers to what they're doing there. So yeah, it's crazy. I know on the men's basketball court for you and I in our tournament, you and I as far as in the brackets, I think I am leading right now, but you have the higher max possibilities. So if everything goes right for you, you will still win and beat me out on the bracket. So good luck, my friend. Absolutely. Wishing you all the best on that. And I mean, for me, it is all about dumpster fire and my car going up in flames. But I did want to mention everybody out there, I'm coming up soon with a NBA observations with Caleb Ponce. He's going to be standing by. We're going to record one here in a little bit. Hopefully I can get Legend back on this week for another NBA observations as well from him. So we talked the NBA heading into the NBA playoffs as well. So go ahead and check that out. I will have LFB clips. I hopefully will have LFB shorts. I'm trying to put more content out there for you guys. Hopefully I can add an article in there somewhere. I'm trying to do what I can for you guys as far as putting stuff out there. I also put a Cosmos out, the PC Multiverse out this morning for members. If you're a member at $2.99 a month, I've already put out a Cosmos that is for you guys out there, which I'll introduce to everyone else there this week. So
Xbox show coming up too.
Coming. That's coming out. The third-party showcase later this week for Xbox, and PlayStation Network is going to die a horrible death within the next year. So, yeah. Definitely got to talk about that sometime in the future, indeed. But again, Legend from I Got Next Sports Media. Please go ahead and like and subscribe. And again, I also do Lakers Latest. That is also coming up every morning for you guys for your Laker intel as well. So, guys, chill. It's all good, guys. 9 out of 10. Be happy with each other. Nick T. Xbox, just peace and love, man. We're all Lakers fans at the end of the day. Well, Legends not, but we're all Lakers fans at the end of the day that are in the chat for the most part, unless Vari's there, because Vari is Indiana. Well, let's just all, how should I say this nicely, Legend? On Wednesday when we beat Indiana, let's all tease nice and politely Vari a little bit. There you go. Absolutely. There you go. As long as Vari doesn't get upset. There you go. Yes, we'll be friendly banter. How about that for that? Because the Lakers have Indiana on Wednesday. We'll be back for that. So hopefully we can go ahead and provide that post game for you. And then again, I've got NBA observations on the way with Caleb Ponce for you guys, and hopefully one with Legend 2 and Matt John coming up as well, hopefully on the back end of the week as well. So, yes, I've got a lot of stuff for you guys coming up. So, don't worry, we got you covered here. So, for Legend from I Got Next Sports Media, it's Gerald Glassford. Thanks again for watching this thing. Peace and love, everyone. So much anger in this world. There's so
Let's
much
all drink
hate.
together.
Yeah, there's so much hate in this world. I'm just tired. Like just tired, and I just want to just enjoy and take in. And this 9-game winning streak, Legend. I'm going to be honest with you, like you with your Atlanta Hawks on their when they went on their 11-game win. It's just a diversion because I know that our significant others sometimes they go like, why do these guys go so deep into sports or
Ooh,
other
that's my
things that
girlfriend right now.
yeah, it's just why do we it's an escape for us from
Mm-hmm.
the real world sometimes. And when the Lakers went on this 9-game winning streak, it was, you know what, I'm not mad that the people were commenting less, Legend, that people were not commenting as much. People, when this team loses or looks shaky, everybody comes out of the works and says something. And again, I have to respond to literally hundreds of comments sometimes in a week. And when they're winning like 9 games in a row, everybody's happy. And I kind of like that. I kind of like that. And I know in Atlanta, that was the same thing as well when you guys won 11 in a row. It just feels good and it just makes your day that much better. And I know that we shouldn't take sports so seriously as far as, but it does affect us in how we see our lives at times.
It's kind of why I told someone at my job. They know I be supporting Atlanta and Golden State. I'm like, but with Atlanta Hawks, I don't expect the team to win no championship this year. But if you just won round one, I can live with it. I'm excited about it. That is a win to me for this season. I will take that. Whatever happened after that is what it is. So I know everybody get upset and stuff when you lose games and all that. I understand with Lakers history and all that, but if they won 9 games in a row, it's okay. It happens. Now go out there and you go beat the sorry Pacers. Now you lose to the Pacers. All right, now you should be upset because that's unacceptable. But this okay. Detroit's a good team. They're not a horrible team. They're not scrubs.
Although, Stefan, you might want to cover your ears. Daniss Jenkins was on a 2-way, and he was some that was out there that could have been picked
Ooh.
up with the, like Legend with the Atlanta Hawks could have picked him up, or the Golden State Warriors could have picked him up, or could have been picked up by the Los Angeles Lakers because the Los Angeles Lakers are getting nothing from the back end. I mean, we saw Adu Thero come in today, and the kid was just overwhelmed. He just had a sign on his shoulders said "rookie." Go ahead
Ooh.
and get at me. He tried hard, but yeah, it was just deers caught in the headlights as far as both
Life's
ends
too
of that.
big for him this stage.
Yeah, and I just felt bad for the kid because this is something that okay, you put him out in something like this, which is what people have wanted, what I've wanted, is to see what this kid looks like because Maxime Renaud is killing it, and I'm sure everybody hates the fact that I'm giving praise to someone that was picked by the Sacramento Kings after Adu Thero, and I want this kid Thero to succeed, and he was put in a position today where he could have succeeded, but it's just the fact that you don't do it up until the 70th game of the season, or excuse me, the 71st game of the season. It's hard for that kid to come at the NBA level and do this. I mean, the G League is a different story than the NBA. It's just that simple. You see it now. These kids that are scoring 20 to 25 to 30 in the G League, it's just you don't duplicate that quite often in the NBA, my friend. And again, I just it's so hard to see Adu Thero struggling like this and not getting any time. And when he gets this rare opportunity, he can't make the most of it. It's sad because, again, there's another rookies on other teams, Diawara in New York and Caleb Love when he was playing for Portland and others, Will Richard in Golden State was
Mm-hmm.
drafted after Adu Thero. And those guys are getting opportunities and making the most of it.
Yeah, them guys is capitalizing on what they got. A lot of these guys know that this is your best opportunity to try and earn a long term spot on this team, not just this season, but even possibly next season. A lot of these guys are playing for jobs next year. So a lot of these guys are gonna come out here and give you everything they got. And that's what you want to look for. Guys who are playing this way. Like look at that kid from Detroit. Went from a two-way on the roster for the rest of the season. Most likely, a guarantee, they're probably gonna bring him back for next year after what he done so far this year. Those are the type of guys you want. You want them guys who are looking for that opportunity. Those type of guys are gonna give you everything they got, heart, blood, everything. They're gonna leave it all on the court. Them type of guy that you want. But it's a hit or miss with these young kids. You don't always know what you're gonna get. It's a hit or miss.
And just to finish this off, this conversation off, again, I don't blame JJ for putting Thiero in because that's what I wanted. That's what everybody wanted, was to see this kid in competitive minutes. It's just sad that he comes in the 71st game and doing so. But excuse me, sorry. Vando had come, like I said, that did that baseline move that he drove to the basket from the baseline, and it didn't hit the rim. Looking shades of like Cam Reddish on the Lakers when he was doing so. I mean, that's what happened just before Thiero came in. So JJ understands that, the reasons why Vando had been sitting on the bench and had been out of the rotation for quite some time were apparent on today's game. He gave you hustle, he gave you energy, he gave you rebounds, he gave you pretty good team defense, but offensively, it's just hard. It's just not something he can do at a consistently high level, which is the reason why he's been sitting down all this time. So again, and then when he did that, JJ was looking down the bench to see if anything, and I know that he's been playing okay at the G League level. So you got to give it a try. You got to give it a try this late in the season, see if you have anything, and if the kid had any momentum coming up from the G League, and it just didn't click. But that doesn't mean he should not ever get a try again or an attempt again, especially with 3 tanking teams coming up. This is the time when you need to go ahead and utilize a large portion of the roster and play your big guys a little bit less.
Yeah, this part, this play what you got, win a lot. You need to win these last couple of games that you got. Close the season out strong. Houston just lost tonight. So I mean, at this point, it's probably looking like the only team that might try to give you a run is maybe Denver. But at this point, you should hold on to the 3rd seed. Just finish strong, do what you got to do, and you don't have to worry about anything at this point. Get to the point where you could start the rest of the guys to get ready for the playoff, and maybe see what you can get off your bench toward the last couple of games, and see is there something you can get from somebody going into these playoffs, because you can't just be your starters. Like, I know we shrink our bench down some, but you need something from them. You got to get them boys a break at some point. Otherwise, these young guys, they're gonna run over you. If I was me, I want LeBron on the court. Oh, he been playing the whole game. Yeah, give me him. He tired. I'm gonna take advantage of it.
Rodell, he looks a little small for 6. I understand he's listed at 6'7", 230. He looks a little small for that, especially when he went to drive in and he got it blocked. I remember the last time he was in any type of the minutes which were competitive, he also took a drive in and got it blocked. Um, I guess you could say he's 6'7", but again, going in, he's definitely daring. I will give him that, but he should have passed the ball to a shooter that was wide open and the 3-point line for that instead of a contested shot in his short minute time. But again, it's a rookie. He's going to make rookie mistakes, and you just got to live with it and just got to see if it works out. Isaac, I love you, bro, but man, MJ athleticism, I don't want to
Ooh,
put that on the
Lord
kid.
have mercy.
Yeah, I don't want to put that on the kid. That's I would I
I
just
need
don't want to put that on
I
anyone.
need something to drink
That's
after that.
yeah.
Mm,
I don't want to put anything on that. Isaac, I mean no disrespect at all. I just that's asking a lot for the kid. I hope he has a Thiero athleticism. I just want his knees to be okay, because somebody coming into the league with knee issues is a great concern. And I'll just leave it at that. But
especially
again,
his age.
yeah, exactly. So I just don't want to put anything MJ. I don't want to put MJ or Kobe by anybody that's coming into the league and just start saying for that, even if it resembles something that you'd like to see, or what he did in the G League as far as the highlights that they provide. I just want to go ahead and see him do well. Period, and that's my hope for him. But again, uh, you know, it will be we'll wait and see. I would like to see him get some time over the next 3 games because now is the time to do it. You've got 3 tanking teams. The Lakers should finish off these 3 teams rather easily, rather early, and then bring some of the bench guys in there to see what they have, if anything. And that's what I would like to see. Nick T says LeBron should sit the next 2
I think
games.
that's what's gonna happen. They're gonna probably start resting some.
Yeah, yeah, that's true. So hopefully they will do just that, indeed. But we'll wait and see. Again, the Lakers lose 113. I'm not mad. I'm not mad. They lost 113 to 110. I will take 9 out of 10 any day. They have exceeded my expectations on this trip. They didn't split Florida. They didn't split Houston. They won in both. And if there was going to be any schedule loss on the schedule, it was this one and the one in Miami, and they didn't do that in Miami.
Definitely one.
Yeah, because that was unfair. That was truly
unfair.
That
was messed up right there.
Yeah. So and again, Rodell, like you said, Suns are out of it. The Lakers have whatever the left power of the Pacific Division title. That's done.
Take Houston out too at this point.
Yeah, and they're Houston, Denver, and Minnesota are 3 games back. Essentially, they're 2 games back in the schedule, but with the tiebreakers, the Lakers have a game up additionally on that. So again, the Lakers, if they can just do what they need to do in these next 3 games, I think they're good.
I'm gonna tell you this, Gerald. This is a prediction. I really think I'm gonna get that rematch with Minnesota, or it's gonna be Houston. I think Denver's gonna end up getting that 4 or 5 range.
We'll see what happens, my friend. Again, it's Legend. I got to get you on here for an NBA observation so you can have another great chat like this, and obviously get you back on the post game when you can. It is, of course, Legend. The Legend hopefully will be back for Wednesday against Indiana on the post game. Well, we won't be too hard on Bari. Let's try not to be too mean to Bari because
his situation different from his team.
Vari was having fun on us because his team went to the finals last season. So there you go, indeed. But again, it is, of course, Legend. I got Next Sports Media. Please like and subscribe. It is me, Gerald Glassford. Thanks again for watching, listening. NBA observations coming up with Caleb Ponce. Also, as well, of course, Lakers Latest on the Lakers Latest channel. I'm trying to get you stuff on this channel as well. So please go ahead and stay tuned to what we're doing. Make sure you like and subscribe. We need to get Jackson on the show. Jackson, he did a good job today. Again, 5 of 5, 4 blocks, really solid effort from the bench for him. It's just if we could get 2 consistent players to give you that kind of double-digit output every game, that would be just awesome, indeed. But make it happen. All right, I'll see what I can do to get Jackson on the show, indeed. But it is, I'll have to go through their Lakers PR on that. But it is, of course, the Lakers Fast Break. Legends here. I got Next Sports Media. It is me, Gerald Glassford. Thanks again for watching this. We'll truly appreciate it. We'll be back with NBA observations with Caleb Ponce, and also on Wednesday with the Lakers Indiana post game. Will the Lakers get back on the right track against the next 3 tanking teams? I'd say they do. Let's get them back on the golf course. Let's get them back on the golf course tomorrow, and then we'll see what happens the next day. Because they played golf on Sunday. They played golf in Florida. They're loving golf. They're coming closer together, guys. They're working and playing together as a team. It's good to see. Let's hope they keep it going. Let's hope they get back on the winning streak on Wednesday, and let's hope you can keep on tuning in to what we have for you each and every time out right here at the Lakers Fast Break Podcast. Legend, just very relaxed. Just wonder why.
Oh yeah.
Oh, maybe it was because Mark wasn't here. But Mark is great. Mark should be on here all the time. Oh, that's right. Joe and John weren't here. Wow, I completely